I'm blessed that I have my sisters around me, even though they're nosy as heck, but I'm glad that they are. You know, it shows that they're real concerned about me. And
sisters are amazing, and I love them so much. And the great thing about family is that you can have disagreements, but at the end of the day, you always come back.
Go to the top, Toni. When you make it, you can help us. Those were the words Traci Braxton said to her sister Toni years ago, words meant to inspire. But for Toni, they became something much heavier, a responsibility she's carried ever since. Toni Braxton, one of R&B's biggest stars, has spent decades not just building her own legendary career, winning 7 Grammys and selling over 70 million records, but also holding up her entire family. Behind the fame and success is a much harder truth. Toni's journey has been filled with sacrifice, betrayal, financial troubles, and deep family tensions. It's a story as dramatic.
Yeah, you know, Tracy's, I'm a rain girl, I love when it rains, but my sister Tracy, she loves when it snows, and she that morning when it was actually pouring down snow in Virginia.
Toni Braxton's rise to fame in the early 90s was powered by her soulful voice and emotional ballads, but getting there wasn't easy. Growing up in a household with 6 children, Toni faced tough responsibilities from a young age. After her mother, Evelyn, suffered a serious accident and was left bedridden, and with her father working long hours, Toni stepped up to help care for the family. She was barely a teenager, yet already carrying adult-sized burdens. From early on, it was clear, Toni's dreams weren't just her own. Her family pinned their hopes on her success, seeing it as the way out of their struggles. So when her debut album dropped 1993 and soared to #1 on the Billboard 200, selling over 10 million copies.
Little Kevin, how is he doing? You know, I'm worried about him, and I know he's going through a lot.
This was Toni's moment. With hits like Breathe Again, another sad love song, and later Unbreak My Heart from her second album Secrets, she became a global sensation. But while the world saw a superstar at the top of her game, behind the scenes, Toni was slowly shifting from being an artist to becoming her family's safety net. It wasn't just the occasional help, Toni became the main source of financial support for the Braxton family. After her parents' divorce, her mother needed help. Her siblings had their own problems, and somehow, it was just assumed that Toni could, and should, handle it all. But it wasn't only the pressure of providing. What made things worse was the lack of appreciation. Even while Toni was paying bills, buying homes, and keeping things afloat, some of her sisters, Towanda and Trina, expected to be paid for working with her, even if their involvement was minimal. The one exception? Tamar. Often seen as the outspoken one.
I can understand that no one really wants to talk to little Kevin's father, because there was a pretty public rift between our side of the family and him right after Tracy.
In recent years, Toni Braxton has opened up about how unfair the situation really was. Carrying the family's financial load, and getting little in return, left her feeling used. But money was only part of the story. The emotional toll of being the family's anchor was just as heavy. As entertaining as the Braxton sisters may be on screen, there's no denying the drama. They argue, hold grudges, and constantly clash, and Toni often found herself stuck in the middle, trying to keep the peace, even though she rarely got that same support in return. And while Toni was keeping everyone else afloat, her own finances were falling apart. Despite earning over $170 million in album sales for her record label, she was shockingly underpaid, taking home less than 35 cents for every album sold. Yes, one of R&B's biggest stars was making just pennies on the dollar. That unfair deal pushed Toni to file for bankruptcy in 1998, a devastating and humiliating moment. Hoping to set the record straight, she appeared on the Oprah Winfrey Show, thinking it would be a chance to tell her side of the story. But instead of empathy, she was met with judgment. Oprah questioned her spending habits and even mocked her for owning Gucci flat.
And you never know, a marriage is a private affair, so you never know what Tracy and her husband talked about, or maybe he needed that.
But Toni's money troubles didn't end in the 90s. In 2010, she was forced to file for bankruptcy again, this time because of serious health problems. Diagnosed with lupus and microvascular angina, Toni had no choice but to cancel her Las Vegas residency. That decision, while necessary for her health, came with a huge financial blow. Because her insurance didn't cover the cancellation, she was left on the hook for everything: production costs, hotel bills, and paying her entire team. It wasn't just a bump in the road, it was a financial disaster, and through all of this, her family still expected her to keep being their support system. Toni later said that if she hadn't been carrying both the emotional and financial weight of her family for so many years, her career might have reached even greater heights. And honestly, she's probably right. Now fast forward to more recent years. And
Toni has always tried to be the peacekeeper of the family. And it's probably because she's the oldest, but I'm in no way in the right frame of mind to meet with Traci's widower.
But Toni's struggles didn't stop at finances or family drama. Being the backbone of the Braxton clan came at a personal cost, too, one that affected her dreams, her relationships, and even her health. Take her marriage to musician Carrie Lewis. While Toni has kept the details of their split mostly private, those close to her believe the non-stop pressure from her family may have played a role in the breakdown of their relationship. Over the years, she's hinted that being the constant provider left her little time, or energy, to focus on her own happiness, and it wasn't just her love life that suffered. Living under constant stress while battling.
It's a matter of this, y'all. Right lights and benefits, man. You got boyfriends coming in the picture, coordinating something like this that should have happened decades.
And then there's Tamar, who's had her own very public ups and downs. She's often taken to social media to express her frustrations with the family, airing out private tensions for the world to see. In one particularly awkward moment, she even blocked Toni online. Toni only found out when she tried to tag Tamar.
But, I think ultimately, our kids want to see us happy.
But it's not just the Braxton sisters stirring up controversy. Recently, Ashley Braxton, their niece, came forward with claims that added yet another twist to the family's already complicated story. Ashley says she was just 16 when one of her aunts accused her of inappropriate behavior involving that aunt's partner. Ashley strongly denies anything happened, but the accusation led to a complete fallout. Since then, she's been cut off from that part of the family and remains estranged. Naturally, the internet has been buzzing with theories about which aunt was involved. Many fans have...
Is there a conversation after we find out? There's no conversation.
No conversation.